Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Jeanne Herman joins us. She's the Washoe County Commissioner for District 5, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Events Center in Las Vegas. Host meetings and events on 2 floors. Stay in luxurious rooms and suites. Unlimited branding opportunities. Regional Italian cuisine by Chef Mark Segrisi. Flexible event spaces. Full buyout options. Visit ahernhotel.com today.
I'm here at the Carson Valley Inn in Minden with Joey Whitaker. Entertainment here at the Carson Valley Inn is extraordinary.
Yeah, super proud of the TJ's Corral, our outdoor venue, about 1,500 seats. We've had first-class entertainment out there. We've had Merle Haggard, we've had Chris Young, we've had Lee Brice a couple times, we've had Pat Benatar, Joan Jett, who's in the Hall of Fame. We're real proud out there, and it's just a great time. Watch CarsonValleyInn.com and grab those tickets early. It's not a long way to get away to the Carson Valley Inn.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Do you play golf? The Optimist Club of Reno is hosting the inaugural Ray Pezzanella Memorial Charity Golf Tournament on June 3rd at the Lake Course at Red Hawk Golf and Resort. For more information, go to pezgolf.org. Funds raised go to benefit local children's programs.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're very pleased to welcome to the program for the first time Jeanne Herman. She is the Washoe County Commissioner of District 5. And I just want to set this up for the audience. We did an interview with Bob Lucy, who is a commissioner on the Washoe County Commission a week or so ago. And you called me and said, would you like to hear the other side of the story? And I said, absolutely. And so I invited you to come on and give the other side of the story. So first of all, lay out what concerns you had with Mr. Lucy's interview.
I didn't get to see the whole thing, but as it was at the meetings, there's been a very definite difference of opinion as far as election integrity goes.
Okay, so lay out for us what your case is.
Well, I've been, before I even became a commissioner over 7 years ago, I was interested in elections. Of course, I ran one and got lucky and won. And at the time, there were things that people had talked to me about that really bothered me, that they felt that their election wasn't honest or true.
Okay, in what way?
Or they were treated, unusually rudely, or they weren't given the same opportunities as other people, or they had checked to see if their vote had been tallied up the way that they did it, and they said that they pulled up things on the machines that were not what they'd punched in. You know what I mean, on the machine.
Okay, so let's because this is really important stuff. Mm-hmm. So I want to kind of go through it in a little bit of detail with you. Mm-hmm. So when you vote in Washoe County, and I haven't voted anywhere else in the state, but I presume it's pretty much the same. You do your vote, and then when you file it, a paper roll comes up and it indicates all the things that you voted for. So you're saying that people were telling you that what they voted for was not came up on that roll?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that they didn't make mistakes in terms, or couldn't have made a mistake in terms of who they voted for?
Well, once they saw it, everything was pretty much done. So,
Okay,
and they would ask, you know, how do we change this or whatever, and they really didn't get any satisfaction in the answers, and they were promised that, oh, it would be all right, they'd fix it or whatever. But anyhow, that was just one of the things.
And this is going back to your first election.
Yeah.
So this is 7 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So every election I've had, some elections I've had as many as maybe 50 calls about election. And so I've been kind of keeping tallies on it and watching it. And at one point, about 20 years ago, I went to vote, and somebody had used my space, and I wasn't allowed to vote that year. And I had voted ever since the 50s, the late 50s, as a Republican, and so it was really, I was just so upset. I can't tell you how upset I was because I couldn't vote that year.
Okay, but what did you do about it? I mean,
At that time, okay, so now you're saying up front here. So I've been asking at the county meetings, at the county commission meetings, you know, at different times, commenting on these problems. I brought physical evidence of it.
what kind of physical?
Emails, letters, phone calls I had. And
So no actual evidence of fraud, but evidence that people were unhappy.
Unhappy with a certain thing. I mean, and some of it, I mean, I'm not a judge, but fraud comes in a lot of colors. So, so there was things like, okay, in my mailbox would come 5 or 6 ballots for different people that never lived in my house. I mean, that kind of shook me up.
How long had you lived in your house?
About 40 years.
40 years. So that's very bizarre that people...
It is, yes. I know who lived in my house, you know.
Okay, and I apologize because I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to deal with each point as you raise it so we don't kind of get lost here.
Right.
Did you inform anybody? Did you go to the voter registrar?
I brought them to the county and asked that the registrar come to our meeting, and that was back when John Slaughter was here, and
he was the county manager.
And he was the
correct?
county manager at the time. Yeah, so it's been a while. You know, we've been.
Okay, and what happened with that?
Nothing happened. I never got a satisfactory answer.
So do you still get those 5 ballots every time?
No, I put a key lock on my mailbox. Got a new mailbox, and since then I haven't had that problem.
Okay, and why do you think that is? Because you
Well, I can't tell you. I don't know why that happened, but it shouldn't have happened.
Okay.
So then I started bringing up subject matter to the board, suggesting, what about let's check our with our registrar and make sure that everything's going right. Nothing changed. I still, every election, every 2 years, I'm getting calls, and because a lot of people know that I'm interested in that fact, you know, in that subject matter, because it's very important to me and the people in our county.
Okay, so let's put it in a little perspective here. How many people, you represent a large portion of Washoe County.
I do.
The North Valleys all the way up to Gerlach.
All the way up to the Oregon border.
To the Oregon border, so it's a huge territory. How many people live in your district?
It's roughly 5,000 less than the rest of the 4 districts, the other 4
Okay, but I mean, what total number would you
say?
say?
It's in the 90s,
90,000. And you get how many, maybe 50 letters?
Maybe,
okay,
yeah.
so it's
complaints.
It's a large amount of letters, but not necessarily in view of how many people.
But I'm sure I'm not getting all the
of course
all of it. So anyhow, I felt that you know, I had approached having the registrar come to our meetings and questioned her, and I just never felt like I was getting a good answer. But anyhow,
And this is over the 7 years.
Yeah,
So
it
has
is.
it been more than one registrar?
It's been mostly Deanna.
Okay.
And she'd come to the meeting and try to explain it, and it just seemed like a lot of things were happening, and people weren't getting the help that they should have. So after this, the election in 2020, I think the amount of people that complained were a lot higher, a lot of concern. I'm not just blaming the 2020 election, because I can't prove anything without getting all the details, you know, and doing a study and being a professional at that. So I haven't attempted to do that. All I want to do is provide a fair and free election, you know, worry-free, honest election for the people of this county.
Okay, and that's fair enough. There's also a national movement in a portion of the Republican Party. The Republican Party, like the Democratic Party, is pretty much split in two at this point, where you have people on the far right with one objective, others more moderate with a different objective, same on the Democratic side with a more moderate group, and then more extreme on the far left. And so there's been a movement across the country to say that, you know, elections are not fair, that the numbers are being twisted, that the voting machines are inaccurate, and obviously the previous president feels that he was cheated from re-election.
Doesn't that happen in every election, though?
Absolutely, and I'm not. I think that that's one of the interesting things is that in every election, for example, certainly on a presidential level, there are teams of attorneys standing by, ready to challenge whatever. I remember objecting to the Obama campaign because they used a clip from Nevada Newsmakers without my permission.
Oh dear.
To attack John McCain, who had been interviewed on this program. I wrote to the campaign, and of course the law firm was the one that responded to me and said, by the way, you're out of luck, we have the legal right to use this, and so, no, I understand. So yes, there are objections after every election. But I guess what I wanted to ask you was, now you've already been elected twice, and you're running for re-election. You won both of those elections.
I'm not complaining about that, and if I'd lost, I wouldn't be complaining about that, because I've always tried to trust the elections as being what they were. I've accepted them. But we have come to a point when you have 300 or 400 people come to your meeting and have the same thing that they're begging at you for, and that's a fair election, something has to be done. My job is to listen to the people and provide an answer for them and provide a solution for them. Okay, and that's why I did the 20-point resolution.
Yeah, for our friends in Southern Nevada, and they can Google your name in Washoe County and they will find all kinds of information on the resolution. It was voted down 4-1 by your other commissioners. 2 Democrats.
Almost everything I ever bring to this board, they vote down. So just to give you a little background.
Okay, and why do you think that is? Because you got 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats, and
I know.
You're in the majority in terms of Republicans.
I know exactly.
So why do you think things that you bring get voted down?
So we're not getting to the important thing.
No, we've still got time.
Okay, so in the beginning of my term, well, not in the beginning, but when the Lemon Valley flood took place, Swan Lake flooded and
this is in the North Valleys of Reno.
In the North Valleys, yes. At that time, I just was so worried about the people, you know, and I'd been out there and saw the big problems. And
it was terrible.
And nothing was really being done to prevent this from happening again, or, you know. And so when I went to Washington, D.C. with the NACO, which is the
Association of Counties.
Yes. I just kept harassing my county manager who was there with me, and I said, we have to find a solution for Lemon Valley. And so finally we went to the lobbyists that we had at the time, and we went to Congressman Amadei's office and told the story. And pretty soon we had HESCO barriers. FEMA was there, Corps of Engineers was there, and you know, it was wonderful. We got something done, and they just got torn down here recently, and I just kind of shed a tear, you know, because I still am worried about Lemon Valley.
Okay, but can I go back to my question though, which is, why do you think that with 2 other Republicans on the commission, that most of your resolutions and ideas are shot down by the commission?
That's for them to answer, because I don't know why. Okay, I'm not sure, but.
Did you feel that they feel you're out of the mainstream?
I'm just a rural kid there, okay?
And you do represent a lot of rural Nevada.
I do.
Okay, you said I was missing the most important point. Let's take a break and we'll come back and we'll do with
Certainly.
what you consider to be the most important point right after this.
Okay.
We'll be right back. As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org. Hi, I'm Renee Summerauer, digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Jeanne Herman. She is the Washoe County Commissioner for District 5, which is the North Valleys of Reno all the way up to the Oregon border. She put forth a resolution on election integrity that was voted down 4-1 by her fellow commissioners. You said we hadn't gotten to the most important part of your thoughts, so I want you to lay that out for us now.
Okay, so the resolution. I have a pile of papers that high with all my scribblings and everything of trying to prepare something over the years, you know, full of information, just all kinds of notes and all that. And so I started studying all of that, and I had, you know, many items that I thought should go on it, and I decided I was going to limit it to 20.
Which is a lot, right?
It's a lot, but they're very mild. I went to the DA's office and got a template from them, and they gave me, you know, just used 5 of my numbered list, you know, and started it that way. And so then I went back home and started working on it again, and I knew there were certain rules, like ID you can't put on there, it's illegal to change that. Voter ID, which I think is important, but I did not put that on there. I had decertifying the machines, you know, just to get a good balance, understanding of how they worked and all that. I didn't do that. I asked for a percent. One of the things I asked for during meetings over that 7 years is to get an agenda item on whether we could do forensic audit, so that a forensic audit would just open it up and you make sure that each election that we've had was honest and fair, like I started out with. And the people deserve that, and especially when you get 300 or 400 people coming to a meeting with all the same complaints, 3-4 hours of testimony, 3 minutes at a time. I mean, that's a lot from the people. Okay, so there were other items. Okay, so those were kind of some of the important ones that I didn't put on there because I was trying to design something that would pass and had enough points in it to protect the election and to protect the citizens from future problems. So what there is on that list is all, other than the National Guard, which the governor would have had to okay.
Right. Yes, for those that were not aware, you wanted to initially have the National Guard and then you moved it back to the Sheriff's Department.
This was a suggestion. Almost everything on that list was a suggestion from the people. And the people are who we work for.
No, I understand, but it was almost immediately pointed out that beyond anything else, the cost alone would have made that.
And that was not true. The cost, it looks to me like the cost would be about a fourth of what the election is costing this year.
Okay, some people felt that having the National Guard or the Sheriff's Department there would be very intimidating to people, or to a certain portion of the population.
They don't get intimidated when we have them at vaccination stations or checks for
Actually, you know what's, I'm going to share this with you. I went to get vaccinated at the Washoe County Fairgrounds, and I was surprised in talking to a National Guardsman of how many, he told me how many people were scared of the Guard and that they had to reassure them. It's a longer story than we have time to tell right now, but let's come back and then we'll take another break and we'll be right back after this.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years.
Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Don't miss the $200,000 Big Cash giveaways at Tamarack Casino through May 28th. One $10,000 Big Cash winner guaranteed every Saturday, plus over $60,000 in grand prize giveaways. The $200,000 Big Cash giveaways at Tamarack Casino.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Jeanne Herman. She's the Washoe County Commissioner for District 5. Which goes from the North Reno Valleys all the way up to the Oregon border. So I'm going to ask you, because we're running out of time here on this show.
I have a short answer.
But you're welcome to come back. Why, if your concerns are this great, did you, after the County Commission blew you off basically by voting 4-1 against you, did you not go to the sheriff, the DA, the Secretary of State, and ask them to do an investigation based on what you were saying? Because that would seem to me that if I were in your place, and believe me, I will never be in your place because I'm not going to run for office, but that would have been what my response would have been if the commission blew me off.
I came back with a 1 item, and it's very simple too. It was just go for paper ballots, what are mail-in ballots? They're all paper ballots, right? So give the people the choice of voting in place with the paper ballot counted by people that they trusted.
So we only got a couple of seconds here, but the concern from so many people is that paper ballots are even more easily manipulated than any other kind of ballot.
I'm not sure about that. If we control it, I think if it's controlled properly, it can be an honest election. It's been an election from way back when our country was started. We've had paper ballots.
All right. Let's say that this is the end of part 1. You are welcome to come back and continue this conversation.
Okay, whenever you want me to.
All right. Thank you, Jeanne. And we'll be right back.
Before the masks, before the distancing, before the world changed, UMC was ready. Our response to COVID-19 began before the crisis did, with our own team of infectious disease experts who've spent their careers planning for this moment. With a pandemic response plan, we'd practiced again and again, and by blazing new trails in large-scale testing, including every patient we admit. Always ready. UMC.
I'm here at the Carson Valley Inn in Minden with Joey Whitaker. One of the things I love about the Carson Valley Inn here in beautiful downtown Minden is CV steak. I have eaten here so many times. Tell folks what they can expect when they come here to eat.
It's a beautiful room, great service. We have certified Angus beef, seafood, lamb, a great range of appetizers, and wonderful desserts. Jean-Michel's done a great job of selecting some beautiful wines for us. The customers love it, and we've got a great selection of cocktails as well. It's not a long way to get away to the Carson Valley Inn.
A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Safety is the #1 priority for the trucking industry. Over $7 billion a year is spent on technology like this electronic eye that will apply the brakes automatically. But the most important factor for safety is the truck driver. These hardworking men and women who safely move over 70% of our nation's freight and 94% of Nevada's. We thank you because trucks move America forward.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com. You can also check our archive going back to 2005 on our website. Again, nevadanewsmakers.com. We'll see you on the next show.